find a way to win. Had the girl that's when it all begins. I don't need a rollie on my wrist. Perfect time and God with the assist. I've been working since I was a kid. I just gotta keep my head up. Running, I'm never gon' let. I'll never feed the haters cause they fed up. They still tryna find a way to win.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Accountability B here. Figured before I dive into any content that I'm going to start providing for you over the channel, figured I would let you know a little bit about me so you can kind of meet the creator, figure out why I even decided to jump onto YouTube. And ultimately, I'm just some guy on YouTube that's decided to provide some perspective of my life and things that I've gone through. So I touched on in the first video that, there were things that I implemented in my life that changed my life for the better. And I wanted to provide, some insight on that. I will start with where I am now. I have a beautiful wife, healthy kids, 3 boys. Maybe we're gonna try for that girl next, but I have a healthy family. I'm very grateful for where I am today. I'm a sales professional for an organization. I've been in sales for the better part of 7 to 8 years now. Always wanted to be in an industry where I could write my own paycheck and really have my work ethic determine how I got paid. I live a very successful life. So does my wife. We make a considerable 6-figure income, and we've been able to acquire a couple properties. So we own 2 homes now, and we're actually going to be working on our 3rd home. But some of the good things about our life right now that we took for granted earlier, or maybe couldn't even fathom, something so simple being a monumental part in our life, is the fact that, we live with all of our bills on auto pay. We have 6 months of expenses saved up for any type of emergency. We're actively contributing to our 401ks and aggressively investing for our future. And, as I said, we're looking to build our 3rd home here at the end of this year and hope to close on that January 2025. So hold me accountable to that, but that is in the works. But I wanted to let you know that it didn't just start here, right? It didn't start with this. It started with a lot of sacrifice and discipline. And that's what I'm going to be going over a lot in this channel. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk about, sometimes they're going to have to be some tough conversations. They're going to have to be some conversations where you have to self-reflect and look in the mirror and figure out if you really want what you say you want, or if it's just lip service, right? Is it just, hey, I want to be successful, or hey, I, want to make a 6-figure income, or whatever that may be, but you're not really willing to put in the effort that it takes to get to that level. And that's something that you really have to ask yourself, because, your life can change very quickly in a matter of a year, 2 years, but I'll start with my early childhood, just to let you know a little bit about me. I'm originally from New Jersey. I grew up in a very affluent city. I'm very fortunate for where I grew up, but I did lose my father very young. Me, my brother, and my sister were raised by our mother. And there were tough times that we did have. My mom wasn't always the most financially literate, and but she provided a great life for us. And I feel like she did a lot of what a lot of Americans do, try to overextend and spend and live a little bit above your means, just to shield your children maybe from some of the things that we saw our peers doing. And I'm forever grateful for that. And but I started my work ethic very, very young in my career. 16 years old, as soon as I could work, I was working 2 jobs. Worked all my way through high school. I was a 3-sport athlete. I played football, basketball, and track. I was a pretty good football player, and unfortunately, my sophomore year, I did find out about having cervical stenosis, and it was a narrowing of my spinal canal. And long story short, it was, I was going to have an exponential chance of paralysis if I continued to play the game. So that actually hit me pretty hard, because most of my young childhood, people would say, hey, sky's the limit for you. You're going places, you're going, you can play the game. And, you know, I always kind of rested on that. And so when that was taken away, that was a pretty tough time in my life, just because I didn't know what direction to go. You know, I wasn't always the best student per se. You know, I just knew I was going to get something out of life. And that was a pivotal time in my life where I could have, you know, kind of veered left or right. And, you know, I chose to go down a path of, you know, saying, hey, life isn't over. I'm destined for something better. You know, I really started to focus all my energy into weightlifting and still playing basketball and throwing the shot and disc and track. So I ended up going to school in Tallahassee, started at Florida A&M University, and that is where I met my wife, then girlfriend at the time. But, you know, Tallahassee, you know, I worked all through college, served at a restaurant, and unfortunately, you know, that restaurant ended up closing down while I was working. And, you know, just another trial and tribulation that came up in the path of me growing up and becoming a young man. And, you know, also, you know, when I was in Tallahassee, I had to actually stop going to school for a little while. To make a long story short, I fell on some financial hardships and was not able to pay for my classes moving forward. So I had to pretty much stop school and then continue on with my job. And then, you know, my job actually closed up, and it was a pretty tough time. I leaned on a lot of friends and relationships at the time. Ultimately, I was able to transfer my credits out of there. I ended up graduating from University of South Florida. Me and my wife moved there for a period of time. Traveled around a little bit. Actually ended up in South Florida. And I took my career in fitness and became a personal trainer. And that was something I was very passionate about. It really is going to gear itself in a lot of the things that we talk about, just having discipline, self-accountability, self-awareness to know, hey, these are the goals that I'm trying to get, and that's on a health and fitness level. These are the things that I need to do to get there. And so I knew that I just had a passion to help individuals and help people realize what their goals were and give them a roadmap on how to get there. And that really is the reason why I've started the channel, because I want to be able to provide that type of guidance into you in other aspects of life as well. So it won't just be fitness. It won't just be your health. It's going to also be some personal accountability as far as budgeting, how to deal with relationships, how to interview, how to negotiate, how to just move your life better one day at a time. And you know, I'm going to dive into the next video of how, you know, where I went from South Florida and how I became the sales professional that I am today. But I just wanted to give you a little insight for part one. Part two of the video, I'll dive a little bit further into my life and things, how things started to change, where I was financially, some of the other hardships that were more immediate and financial that, you know, we really fell on and that a lot of Americans can probably relate to. We're going to talk strictly facts, strictly life experiences that I have gone through. And trust me, if you're watching this video and you think that, you know, you're the only one that's going through hardship, you're the only one who's going through, you know, some tough times, honestly, we all are. Some people are just better at hiding it. So stay tuned for my next video. Part 2 is coming out. I'm going to dive a little bit further into my life. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.